live. Okay. Well, do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. Oh, of course you didn't get the newsletter.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Be honest. Does anybody even miss it? I know I don't routinely give you the update on Facebook, but you know the show more or less is coming to you live and direct from Bomb City every Tuesday night if you're into that. And if you're not, you're a subscriber to the podcast feed and you're pretty aware that on Wednesday, there's going to be hour number 1 of the show, and on Thursday, there's going to be hour number 2 of the show. Well, like, what is going on with my earphones? But are you really missing the new? I doubt you're missing the newsletter. But I'm happy to take your feedback just in case. So, if you didn't get the newsletter this week, and I know you didn't because you haven't gotten it in like 2 months, here's what's happening on the show this evening. Coming up first, and in his second quarterly visit in 2025, or 2026, let's go with 2026, the creator of the Barbecue Lab, a guy that is producing reviews that are as solid and unbiased and as well thought out, executed with results that you can trust, David Gafford of the Barbecue Lab. Many thought my newest man crush of 2025, and we're not going to deny that either. Love David. Love his calmness. Love his assurity, which we know is not a word. Love everything about it. So we have a couple different topics to talk about tonight during his time, and we will go from there. And then 35 past the first hour because we missed it last week, and I'll get into more of that. A reload of the 35 past the second hour from last week. Marleigh Rempe joins the show. Thank goodness. The second hour, wide open. I have nothing planned. We had a 35 past the second hour dropout. So we're probably not going to run the entire second hour, but I do have some show promotion that I want to get into, along with some other housekeeping events. So that'll be what's happening the second hour. But we do have a David Gafford and a Marleigh Rempe segment in the first hour. So that's what's happening. Don't forget, you can follow me socially, which I don't recommend, on Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And of course, we say good evening to those of you watching the show tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, Or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we'll ask everybody, including all guests. It's not nearly as good as last week, but what could be? We'll get to those results here in a second. Tonight, we're asking everybody, would you rather accidentally laugh loudly at a funeral or fart while giving a speech at a wedding? And currently, 67% of you are saying that you would rather accidentally laugh loudly at a funeral. Wow. I'm shocked. Laughing loudly isn't more embarrassing. Let me preface all of this by saying I'm going to operate under the assumption that you folks are not like me. Either one of those are not going to embarrass me. There's very little in this life that is probably going to embarrass me at this stage of my career, and I don't really recall being too much of an embarrassing type kid, like, oh, my parents so embarrassing, or oh, this is so embarrassing. I view everything as life experience, and we live and we learn, c'est la vie. That's just the way it goes. So between the two, if I have to pick between the two, I'm going to pick farting all day long. I mean, it's funny, it's hilarity, it's a good time event, a wedding. You drop a little shit talk. It might even run with a speech that you're giving. Who knows what kind of speech that you might be giving at a wedding. So 33% of you aligning with me, but 67% say they would rather laugh loudly at a funeral than fart while giving a speech at a wedding. Results from the poll question of last week. Would you rather see one of your parents having an affair or see your spouse having an affair? 85% of you said that you would rather see your parents having an affair. And by the way, that is the right answer. 15% of you, including Hollywood Len Aberman of the Baseball and BBQ or Barbecue podcast, depending on how you say that, aligned with those would rather see their spouse have an affair. Shockingly, aligning with Sam the cooking guy, and perhaps even more shockingly, aligning with Sam the cooking guy's wife, Kelly. All three of them said they would rather walk in on one of their parents having an affair than their spouse having an affair. And guess what? That is wrong. You got the double hammer on that one. You got the weak stuff, Austin Carr hammer, and the wrong answer hammer. Never done on this show before. Let me double it up for you just so you understand how wrong that is.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
That might be a new sound drop. I mean, that is a violent, aggressive, and assertive horn. When you match this horn and this horn together, wow.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
It almost sounds like a steamship horn in the night in like soupy fog, looking for that lighthouse in the distance. Oh, there it is. The Chippewa, they said, never gives up her dead when the winds of November come early. Can you name that song? First one in wins a prize. How about that? So we start here this evening in the minute and one half that I have left before we go to first break. The number of email going, what happened technically with the show last week, only to be overrun with not only are we going to point out the technical issues of April 7th, 2026, hour one, but how could you have so much worse technical issues in your own studio? I agree.
Weak stuff out of here.
Your daughter came down. She was there on camera. Everything was lit up right. She was sitting right there. She'll be there later. Don't worry about it. And you threw to her, fired up the microphones, zero sound. And so I spent the better part of an hour trying to figure out what could this be, unplugging this and plugging that in. I thought to myself, well, It's been a while since we've done a rerun of the microphone cabling. I do know for a fact that most of the cabling that sits just behind me that you can't see has been pissed on by a cat who is no longer alive. Thank you, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Many times by the kid, pissed on many times. And I said maybe that acidic cat piss has worn through the XLR sheathing and ruined the connectability. We've got new XLRs for all microphones. That did not fix the issue. So, tested the preamp sent long ago by sound engineer of the Barbecue Central Show, Haniel Tristan. That was not the issue. The issue was on the mixer. Channel 2 specifically died. Sorry, Channel 2.
Big stuff out of here.
We moved everything off of Channel 2 onto Channel 4 just to give some space. And I think you will see in about a half an hour, you'll be able to hear Marleigh loud and proud. So that's what happened. Thoroughly embarrassing. There's no excuse. How can I chastise somebody for having shit-ass sound if I can then not replicate studio quality sound in my studio? I can't remember the last time I've ever been so embarrassed in my life, and I have only the Centralites to continually point it out over the course of last week, and I say thank you for that. Dave Gafford is in the green room, and before we get to him, we will learn a little bit about something called the Primo Grill. We know it's ceramic. What do we know about ceramic cookers? We love them for many reasons. Ultra fuel efficient. You can achieve low and slow cooking temperatures for traditional stuff. You can go super high heat for the grilling of steaks. You can use it as a pizza oven. You could use it as a smoked roaster. That's a term that Steven Reichland made famous. Many different ways to cook on it. Really limited by your culinary imagination. So if you're like me, rating on the IQ ladder of somewhere between dull and dim, maybe there's only 5 or 6 ways you can cook on it. But if you're really smart, you probably cook 60 different ways on this thing. Also, all the accessories you want. The bottom line is this: are they the best ceramics in the biz? Yes, and we know this because if you go to the Primo factory in Missouri, in one of their big kilns, they have a Primo grill, and they have all the other ceramic grill competitors in the kiln. Then they close the kiln, and they turn it on, and then after the firing stops, they open it back up, and wouldn't you know, there's only one standing. Which one would it be? The Primo, that's right. I knew you could guess it. Only sold through dealers, so find one near you, and then go touch it and feel it yourself. PrimoGrill.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. We're back with Dave Gafford right after this.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This segment is proudly sponsored by Fireboard. My word's not there. The innovators behind Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, the Fireboard Beacon, and the wireless Fireboard Pulse. Experience total control over all your devices from anywhere in the world with the Fireboard app. Discover more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232 today. Ted Conrad himself might answer the phone. I'd bet $50. My next guest, or first guest this evening, is to be found once a quarter here as we start the second year of doing this, starting in 2025, but it is now 2026. The second time this year already, if you can believe it, as we race through this year. It's our pal David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab. Hey, David.
Great to see you.
Great to see you. We have a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. David, would you rather accidentally laugh loudly at a funeral or fart while giving a speech at a wedding?
I'm going to go with accidentally laugh at a funeral.
All right. And 57% of the YouTube voting public aligning with one David Gafford of the Barbecue Lab. You can follow them over on Instagram at Barbecue Labs, and barbecue is spelled correctly, BARBEC. What's the current YouTube sub count, David?
Oh, I don't know, 150 something, 3,000, I don't know, somewhere around there.
Are you satisfied with the number these days?
Oh, and I'm not satisfied with the number, but I love the work that we're doing. But it seems like people, they're stopping the subscribe hitting. The algorithm's getting so good that if you linger on something that you're coming back to people. So the subscribe hitting, we've discussed that amongst quite a few creators, and we're seeing a lot less of it. That's okay. We're going to keep plugging away because it's not about the number, man. It's about, at the end of the day, helping the right people connect with the right gear and having success in the backyard.
And why we love having David Gafford on the show is because if you're not familiar, you can go to his website or you can go to the YouTube channel or both and see all the stuff that he is reviewing. And this isn't your run-of-the-mill, high-level, probably got it for free or you're doing some kind of backdoor deal. This is very intricate, very methodical. There's always a process put in place. And while there may be some suggestions of buy this, buy that, it is more of a delivery of information. And then depending on where you slot budget-wise or need-wise or use-wise, here's some more information for you to potentially make a educated decision on either getting your first cooker or adding to the arsenal, which brings us to the topic for most of this evening, which will be a grill company that I've been tracking for the last few years. I think they've been out for a few more than a few years, and it's called Spider Grills. And specifically, they have now two models of it called the Huntsman grill. So I guess if you have any kind of background on Spider Grills from a high level, for those of us that might not be familiar, little lead off there, and then we can talk about the Huntsman and what really makes these grills separate from what's on the market.
Yeah, the first time I saw Spider Grills was they had this thing called the Venom controller. The Venom controller was something you could add on to a Weber kettle, and it allowed you to have digital fan control on a Weber charcoal grill, which, as we all know, most of us love our Weber charcoal grills, but they're not digital and they're not set it and forget it. That Venom controller brought that in. Well, they took it a step further and then launched the Huntsman grill, which is incredibly thick. I mean, I think it's 12 millimeters thick. It's thicker than most offsets that I've seen. There's only a couple propane tank offset smokers that are thicker than that grill, and that was completely new in the space. So there's a high level. They started with that controller and then expanded into a couple of really thick kettle Kamado grills.
Now, when we say, like, I think you give the number, but from a what does that really mean? I feel like you might be able to shoot a bullet at this thing and zero penetration is happening. You get more of the ping that you get at target shooting off of steel shots, and this is probably going to be something similar. It's not going through this like it probably is going to be a Weber kettle.
Yeah, I think that this is the kind of thing that they have a video on their website of them hitting the top of it with a sledgehammer. It's a lot of metal. I'll just say that. Having assembled two of them now, they're very, very heavy.
Could that be in the testing at some point? 45 caliber round down range and see what happens, or is that just too aggressive?
It can be, except our new studio, the space that we have here is in city limits, and unfortunately, no firearms in city limits. That doesn't stop the people who live around here, but it pretty much stops us.
Nothing wrong with being law-abiding citizens, especially being as visible as you guys are, not only locally, but in the live fire space. So you had the Huntsman first. Your initial thoughts on the Huntsman and maybe what kind of projected marketplace this is going to fit in?
The first time I had eyes on the Huntsman was when they shipped one over to me and they said, take a look at this, see what you think. And I said, well, what is it? They said, well, it's a kettle Kamado kind of a grill. And I said, well, which one is it? Is it a kettle or Kamado? They said it's both. And I went, well, that's not possible. So they shipped it over and I got my hands on it and I got into it and I went, all right, this is a really thick, really well built, kettle grill. And then I started comparing it to Kamado grills. And Kamado grills, I mean, we all know that they're ceramic and they're very fragile and they're very breakable. And the idea with a kettle grill is that they're usually really thin and enameled. This is not thin or enameled, but it also doesn't have ceramic. So I got where they were coming from when they said it was not a kettle or a Kamado. It's a combination of both. And so this really is designed for someone who's saying, I love kettles, but I wish I had some of the functionality and features of a Kamado grill. And then how can you actually add the digital component in? It's for those who really love a pellet grill and love the ease of control and love the ease of cooking, but also want the flavor of charcoal and like to be able to work with a live fire as opposed to a controlled pellet fire. That's really for the person who's looking for this grill. I think that's really who they're aiming for.
From a experience level, are we starting at intermediate with this, or could you be a beginner because of the controller and do okay right off the bat?
I think a beginner could do great right off the bat as long as they understand how to light a fire. They really recommend just take a chimney and half a chimney full of charcoal, light it up, dump it in, let the grill do the rest. And that is true. I largely like to do it different ways, which gets me in trouble sometimes in testing, but that's what makes testing fun.
Right.
So there's nothing like, putting a full chimney of charcoal in there, not lighting any of it, lighting a small corner and seeing if you can actually burn your charcoal towards the air intake. And other times where you just use a grill gun and just light the thing up and see what happens. So yeah, a beginner could do well with this, but you have to be comfortable understanding how much charcoal to put in and how much to have lit.
So per their direction, half of a lit charcoal chimney or so, and then are you sprinkling over unlit, or you just dump the half chimney in there and away you go? It's going to last long enough.
It just depends on what you're cooking. I mean, if you're going hot and fast, maybe you need to do it that way, but I'm not really sure which direction is the best way to go there. But I did notice that my Mac is about to fall asleep, so I needed to be really unprofessional and grab a power cord, or this is going to be really, really bad for us.
Okay, go ahead. We'll get the power cord here. By the way, as we look over here, this is the Huntsman. This is the one that David and I are talking about right now. We have a retail price of just under $1,000. And then the newest one, right here, the giant Huntsman, $500 more, $14.99. So $1 less than $1,000 and $1 less than $1,500. And then they have, that's probably in the control section. These are the two grills that we are currently talking about here on the show. We all right there now, Dave?
Oh, 100%.
Right.
I think the next segment of the show needs to be adult diagnosed ADHD and the problems therein. That would be a great segment coming up next.
Hey, I think the fact that you just casually brought it up, we were able to transition into some traveling music, show a couple of the grills while you're doing it. Nobody's any the wiser, and it certainly wasn't like last week, and we don't want to revisit that. So you had the Huntsman, and then, as if bigger always is better in the grilling world, no matter what, you have the standard 18-inch Weber kettle, you have the 22.5-inch, well, what could be the 26-inch Weber kettle? Same thing follows with offset cookers. Same things follow with pellet cookers, and the Huntsman appears to be no difference, as I just showed. I guess what is a newer version and a bigger version of the Huntsman called the Giant Huntsman.
So the Giant Huntsman, when they told me that they were releasing it, I said, well, how much bigger is it? And they said, well, imagine the XXL Green Egg or the XL, Kamado Joe, and it's going to be much larger. They said a lot of people are asking for it, so we're going to make it. And I said, well, let's take a look at it. And when it got here, I wasn't ready for how big it was. I thought that I was ready. I really wasn't ready, because that thing easily 2 full packer briskets, no trim, no nothing, not a problem on that thing. I'm guessing you could probably cram 6 pork butts on that.
How many hamburgers?
Oh, hamburgers? I don't know. It's got to be at least 20, 24 or
Wow.
more. So it was really, really huge. It weighed a ton. And one of the things I really liked that they did was they put their lift kit in the box. So this one's taller than the original Huntsman, which as part of my review, I talked about, I think this thing needs to be taller. They released a lift kit that raised it 3 inches. Then they put that in the box in the giant Huntsman. So really appreciate that, because now it's at a level that I really, 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 really like working with.
Do you think you were the sole influence on the devisement of the lift kit?
Oh, I never think I'm the sole influence for anything. I mean, the internet's a huge place, but I will say that there's a lot of things I put out on the internet that do tend to come to life, and that's fun. So I do really like making products better, because all of us as consumers, I mean, ultimately we win in the end, because we have gear that we love to use. And then if we love to use it, we're going to invite friends and family over, and that community is the win.
So when you're looking at the giant Huntsman versus the normal Huntsman, obviously price and size are the most eye-popping things between the two. Why would I want to get the giant Huntsman over the Huntsman? If I'm a family of 2 and I'm happy with the Huntsman, is it just a big D kind of a thing to get the giant Huntsman at that point, or are there valid reasons for me to do it?
It comes down to how many people you're cooking for and how much food you're trying to make. You know, one of the things that we do once a month is we cook for 350 teens at our local youth group. And 350 teens, we need big grills. Now, that's not the average use case for everybody else. You're talking about a family of 2, a family of 4 or 6. Maybe you're inviting a couple houses down the block, or you have some people who are friends are coming over. Rarely are you cooking for more than 15 or 20. The regular Huntsman is great for a single family. But when you start thinking about that party and that community get together, that's when you'd want to look at the giant Huntsman. And I think I broke it down and said, if you're cooking for 8 or less, the Huntsman is the way to go. If you're cooking for 12 or more, you'll appreciate the space of the giant Huntsman as long as you have the budget.
Feature-wise, I'm sure they're very similar, so just talk about the giant, I guess. What are we looking at from a cooking grate, material makeup, and from we know the outside is perhaps more than robust. What about the inside?
One of the things that they've done with their cooking grate, it's a stainless steel grate, but it's in the shape of a spider web, which is kind of cool. It's a spider grill. The main grate is a spider web. It's very, very thick. I mean, very, very wide web strands that make up that main grate. And that's actually pleasant to work with until you need to clean it. As soon as you need to clean it, that is problematic in that it is a very flat, very wide strands of a spider web. And sometimes that can be difficult. So that's one of the things that I've learned, that those grates just pop off. You can take them inside, throw them in the sink, and that is by far the best way I've found to clean them in comparison to just straight grate rails that you'll find in most other kettles. As far as the other things that you can look at between the two, they've released a ton of accessories that are a lot of fun. And one of them that I think is almost a necessity that everyone should get if you have either grill is the indirect cooking method that puts that diverter plate between the fire and your food. That's something that I think it really gives these grills the ability to do a lot of smoking and not just a lot of grilling. So that's the one that I would look at and say, yeah, it's available for both. And if you own this grill or you're ordering this grill, that's the first thing I would add to the cart after the grill. It's
round. In my Primo read, I'm very specific on saying because of the shape, it's very easy to go 2-zone cook. They have that diverter and they also have setter plates that you're talking about, or diffusers. How easy is it to get a true 2-zone cooking experience in a Huntsman?
On the giant Huntsman, it's incredibly easy. I mean, I've actually built a fire in just 1/4 of the giant Huntsman and had no problem going 2-zone fire with just 1/4 of it having the fire, the other quarter just being empty. On the regular Huntsman, it's also pretty easy as well, but I can't quite get only 1/4 of the fire. You really need I'd say at least 3/4 of that half to have your fire. But as long as you have that grate on the second side, nothing underneath it, it really is true 2-zone. And the way that fan works, all your air is coming in right underneath the middle of the grill. So it's interesting when you think about how the air is taken in from the bottom, where you build your fire. When you play with that, you get different results. And that's really interesting. The longer that I cook with it, the more I go, okay, if I put my fire here, it does this. If I put it here, I actually have more lighting to the charcoal. And I have different results with that. So that's a lot of fun to play with this model.
How accurate is the temperature controller, the original thing that made Spider grills? I assume it's a Venom of some sort.
Yeah, I think they're all some sort of Venom. All of this, stems from the original idea. And in the testing that I had, I think it was pretty accurate. I haven't watched my video, and it tends to be once I move on to the next 5 or 10 videos, I forget some of the data from the original. But I remember it being pretty close to what we were testing. And I think a lot of that comes back to, remember, every thermometer is going to give you one temperature, and it's going to be accurate or true until you add a second thermometer. And then you have a fight. And then it doesn't matter. They could both be incredible thermometers, but if you place them in two different places in the grill, you're going to get two different temperature readings, and it's just going to be an argument. So unless you can put those thermometers within, 5 millimeters of each other and then tie them down so they're pointing the same direction and have the exact same experience, it's almost impossible to test apples to apples on temperatures with digital reads in comparison to analog thermometers in a grill.
Crazy question here, but as it relates to those ambient thermometers, do you ever remove them from the cookers and do either an ice or a boil water check just to see how accurate they are right from the rip?
I haven't done that from the rip, but it sounds like a really good idea. I have used some fireboards where I'm able to actually take like the 6th channel, plug another probe in, and be able to tell the grill to run from that additional channel as opposed to the built-in grill thermometer. And I do love that functionality of the fireboard. So there's something to add to your ad read there. Any
other closing remarks on the Huntsman, like scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best grill that you've ever had? Like, where does it rank in your opinion?
Well, I mean, the true test for us here at the Barbecue Lab is we have many grills. I mean, many as in too many to actually admit on air. It's too embarrassing. But the ones that we keep on the front porch and patio, or the ones that we keep here at the lab to cook on when we're not doing a video on them, those are the ones that you have to say, yeah, we must really like those. And right now, the Huntsman, or the Giant Huntsman, depends on the week, is one that we keep out to cook on. So as far as grills that we enjoy using, it's definitely one of them. So I would give it a very high rating. I'd give it at least a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. Very, very good grill.
Anything you're working on that's going to be released soon we should be on the lookout for?
Well, I mean, one thing I'm excited about is we're getting back to our barbecue basics series, where I basically go into a recipe and I over explain it to people who are just getting started in barbecue. And I try to answer every possible question that someone who's getting into it might have. And we just shot one of those today, and it took us about 9.5 hours.
Wow.
But I'm thrilled to be getting back into those, because we found that a lot of people who are getting into barbecue are saying, I'm coming from a gas grill. I don't know what to do. Help me out. And so we're getting back into that series, and that's coming out here really soon. That's going to be a lot of fun.
What are you cooking and explaining for a raw 9-hour shoot?
This was baby back ribs episode.
Wow.
But the baby back rib episode, in between all of the pauses and getting the cameras changed and all of the different angles, in the middle of this one, here's a sneak peek. We had a massive storm with lightning and thunder and all this kind of stuff come through right in the middle of it. So I think we're even going to say how to make baby back ribs, or how to make loin back ribs when it doesn't go to plan. This is your video.
David Gafford joining us here on the show, thebarbecuelab.com, the website. Be sure to subscribe to him over on YouTube as well, at The Barbecue Lab. David, always appreciate the time, and we'll see you in 3 months.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great one.
You too. David Gafford right there. A pro's pro. Doing it the way he always does it. Informatively and entertainingly. Perhaps 2 wrong ways of speaking English right there. Maybe only 50% wrong. Entertainingly. He did it in an entertaining fashion and an educational fashion. That I know is 100% right. All right, believe it or not, we have Marleigh Rempe right here in the green room. She's ready to go. And will the sound work? Time will tell. You never know what kind of gremlins show up. I'm not saying gremlins in that way, like Bobby says it. I'm saying gremlins as in things that make things go bad. Don't know. But time will tell. Before we get to Willis, we will talk about Big Papa Smokers. The competition circuit is now ignited. It's on fire. It's in full rage. 5-alarm heat fire. Elevate your barbecue game with championship flavor from Big Papa Smokers. Ensure your pantry is stocked with essentials like the award-winning Sweet Money, the indispensable brisket and steak rub. How about Little Louie's seasoned salt? All great. I love it. Don't let the smoke roll without being prepared. Whether you're aiming for a grand champion trophy or just mastering your backyard grill, Big Papa delivers the award-winning taste that you crave. Get your flavor advantage now at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers, plural.com. Use code REMPE26 at checkout for free shipping. Exclusions apply. That's REMPE26, REMPE26, all one word. REMPE26 at checkout for free shipping. Big Papa Smokers, real barbecue, real results. We're back with Marleigh Rempe right after this. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
Today we thank David Gafford for joining us from the Barbecue Lab. TheBarbecueLab.com is his website. This portion of the show is proudly sponsored by Pit Barrel Cooker. It is truly the most unbelievable cooking device on the planet. Available in 3 sizes with a variety of accessories. Regardless of your skill level, from beginner to professional, this is a must-have cooker to add to the collection. Go to pitbarrelcooker.com and let them know the Barbecue Central Show sent you. Joining me now is somebody who was here at 10:35 last week. But unfortunately, while she was here, our sound was not here. Our sound was not here.
Get that big stuff out of here.
But I asked and begged and pleaded for her to come back 7 days later. We've done 2 different sound checks. I did also one all by myself. And we are here with none other than Marleigh Rempe.
Hi.
Hey, look at us.
Sound.
We are fully sound. Here we go. Yay, yay, yay. All that. And, of course, we have Charlie's here as well.
What a baby.
Gray Maine
His
Coon.
baby.
And we have Stan, the pumpkin pie eating man.
He's
over
back here
as
somewhere.
Well, you can barely see him. Point to him right there. Yeah, there he is. He kind of blends right in with the darkness over there. So we get a shot here.
I tried to grab him. It didn't work.
By the way, this is what it looks
He's run
like
away.
if you are a guest right here. There's Marleigh in this shot. Yes, that is a green screen. There's not all those televisions which appear behind her in this shot right here. So Apologize for last week. Thought we had everything ready to go. I had no idea the Channel 2 had decided to take a unceremonious shit on me on the mixer, but after some troubleshooting, here we are. By the way, we now have Stan, the pumpkin pie eating man. Right, you barely see him.
Oh,
just
yeah.
his eyes, just his
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
Good night. So
Be free.
that's all the
Go.
cats that we have. Now they're going to start fighting on the piss mat
Probably.
over there. So, all right. A couple weeks ago, well, let's stop. Let's circle back to at some point in high school, you came to us, you said, hey, this college thing, not for a gal like me.
Correct.
What didn't you find appealing about a secondary educational life? Traditional,
Well, I've always hated school. And
generally
I never,
speaking?
yes, never liked school.
Like, what you didn't like about it?
I don't know if I can really pick one thing. I just really didn't like just all of it. I never liked it.
Getting up, we
never
hated
enjoyed it.
Getting ready, I hated
still
it.
hate getting up and getting ready. So.
In class, hated it.
Yes.
Lunch, hated it.
Like, there
hated
was never a
everybody.
time where I was like, oh my God, I want to go back and do this for 4 more years. That actually sounds like my own personal hell. So, and I tried to look for things I wanted to do. I just couldn't find anything.
Yeah, we thought about like radiology technician
I was
for one
looking
point. There were a
in-
couple other things. What were the other things?
It was mainly radiology tech because that was a 2-year program at Kent.
Air
and then-
Force, I think.
What?
One of them was- No, not the Air Force. Sorry.
Air Force.
Stuff out of here.
Me?
Marines.
No.
Nope.
Never that.
All right.
Good for those who have served, but
And thank
not
you for
me.
your service.
Yeah, thank you,
for your
but
service.
not me.
Yep.
In physical therapy, like the PTA program.
Yeah.
It was just those two because I was not going for more than 2 years.
Do you think you would have been a good physical therapy assistant?
I mean, yeah, sure. I feel like I would be.
You were a big fan of, and still are, of many medical TV shows. You have a couple
Yes.
sisters in medical care. Well, one in medical care, one potentially going into medical care
Yeah.
here shortly if everything works out for her by the end of August. So no medical thought outside of the PTA. You didn't want to be a nurse too or anything because that would involve college, right?
No. If anything, I think radiology tech would have ended up
Yeah.
being my better of the two. I would have definitely gone with that over PTA.
I don't want to back out of this interview, but I forgot to ask you.
Oh, God.
You threw
Oh,
me off
question
my
of the day?
game because you are in studio here. We do have a YouTube Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests, and you are a guests. Would you rather accidentally laugh loudly at a funeral or fart while giving a speech at a wedding?
Laugh at a funeral.
Oh. 55% of the YouTube voting public agreeing with you, Marleigh, that they would rather laugh at a funeral. I would rather fart while giving a speech at a wedding.
What?
Because weddings are fun. It's a fun time, gregarious. Maybe it's part of the speech, or at least I could work it into part of the speech. I mean, who knows? But that's what I would rather do. Also, I don't really embarrass easily, so I don't care about either one. But I would pick wedding because also I like saying fart. That's a funny word to me. Now, when does cosmetology come into the forefront of maybe this is what I want to do?
I think I realized at the end of my junior year, in that summer going into senior years, when I realized that this is something that I would want to do because I loved getting my nails done. And like, I always watched her do my nails and how she was doing it. And then I also loved to get my hair done because at that time I was very blonde. So, and I also found it very interesting. So I don't know why I never thought of it in the first place, but yeah.
Did you start having secret conversations with hairdressers and cosmetologists about what's it like, what's your life like, things like these?
Yeah, I was talking to the girl who used to do my nails a lot. I would probably ask her
Who was that?
questions. Brianna Pampanini.
Oh, Brie.
Shout out.
Yeah.
And then I was also asking Stephanie questions whenever I was in there, or whoever I knew that was in that industry.
They
I would
weren't
ask.
giving you any answers that scared you away, obviously.
No, I mean, a lot of the scarier answers, I guess you could say, were ones that I kind of already knew going into it. So
What's the scariest answer?
building your clientele is the hardest thing you can do. It's very hard to get a consistent clientele.
And
for
that
sure.
basically reverts back to how you make your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing.
All right. So get out of high school.
Yep.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Start cosmetology school, not like immediately after, but fairly quickly thereafter, same calendar year.
Yeah.
And how long is you get into this school called Brown Aveda, who doesn't believe in giving any kind of recognition other than clocking the fuck out on your last day?
It's crazy.
And then you're a certified, or then you're able to take your boards. But how long is the program, and what does that entail?
So that program is it's 12 to 13 months, depending on your hours. It's all hour based. So the more you miss, the more you're pushing back your grad date. The school itself, so your first 3 months there, or 12 weeks ish, same thing, is what they call intro. So you're in a classroom learning the basics of basically everything.
Your hell.
Yeah. So you're just in this classroom for 11 hours a day, learning from the book, taking notes, taking tests every week. And that's pretty much intro, learning it's just the basics of everything. And then after those 12 weeks, you go out onto the floor and you start taking clients, and then you go into your next phase, which is alpha, which is, again, 12 weeks. You go into more detailed with stuff. You take clients, you do hair, nails, whatever. And then you have another phase after that. That's 12 weeks, which is alpha, beta. And then you go into gamma, which is your 10-week phase, which means you're almost done with school. And then you have something called salon life, which is basically you finishing out your hours. So my salon life was probably a month or two, maybe, worth of school left. So
That's just accumulating work hours?
Yeah.
Salon life?
Yeah. So basically all the hours that you need to left to get to 1,500, that's when you're making it up. And you can do extended hours in that time, but that's only if you have enough hours missed to do extended hours.
So really, if you miss school, it's not affecting your grade. It's just affecting when you might graduate. You have to accumulate X amount of hours, however long it takes you to get there. It's really your choice.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Could you not go for like 4 months and still be eligible, or can you not miss so much time before they're like, hey, come on, you got to come back?
technically you can miss up to 150 hours before they're like, okay, we need to have a talk. Like maybe it's time for you to take a 2-week leave. However, I do know many people who have missed well over 200 hours and they were still eligible and totally fine. But if you're going to take like more than if you know you're not going to be in school for 2 weeks at least, then you have to take a 2-week leave, which doesn't affect your hours at all. It just leaves your hours where they are, but you're obviously behind now because everybody else has their hours that you missed.
Yeah.
So
Now, in the beginning of this whole Brown Aveda cosmetology school, you have a little surgery going on.
yes, I
What happened
did.
there?
My sesamoid bone
Yes.
was crumbling away, as my surgeon said a few months ago when I saw her.
Now, for everybody that doesn't know what your sesamoid is, that's the bone on your right shoulder.
Right, it's my big toe bone.
Yes.
Sorry. There's multiple. You have multiple sesamoid bones in your toe, and one of mine was crumbling away.
Wow.
So because it was in so many pieces, it can't repair itself, and you don't exactly need the bone. So they went in and they took out my bone.
Your sesamoid.
Yeah, they took out my sesamoid bone, and then
Sesamoidectomy.
yeah, sesamoidectomy.
Oh, great.
Actually, this is what it's called. And then
Wonderful.
my tendon was so inflamed and everything that they had to like repair the tendon and this, that, and the other. And now I also can't really feel what side is that? The left side of my big toe still. So
Really? Nerve damage?
yeah, I can't feel. I perfectly split in half. I can't feel my left side of my toe, but I can feel the right side.
Is this a job for Tim Mizany, who might make somebody pay?
Make them pay. I don't know. Maybe. But I'm not too worried about it. I walk just fine now.
Pain-wise, you're over it? The
Yeah.
sesamoid pain?
I mean, yeah, it's not really painful anymore. It has weird times. You know, when everybody tells you after you have your surgery, you can tell when it's raining because it hurts. They weren't lying. That actually happens. Like when it rains, my scar will throb. It's so weird. Never believed them until now.
I'm going to read this instant chat here. dialing in from Sebastian.Zavarella. Massey, and I say slay.
Oh my
You're
God.
doing amazing. Look at
Mossy
you.
Sebastian.
How about that? Mossy and Sebastian.
How cute of them to tune
You are
in.
slaying it. What do you mean?
I love my friends.
They tune in every week. They're always
Oh,
instant
sorry.
feedbacking on barbecue stuff. They're big. They're big cooks. Probably didn't know that, but also fans
Actually,
of
yeah,
yours.
Sebastian, it is.
Big fans of yours, evidently.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
thanks.
All right. So, how long or how much did it push you back in your graduation time frame from sesamoidectomy?
So I missed 3 months of school. So because of that, I was supposed to graduate in probably November, December, but then I ended up graduating in the end of February.
Yeah.
So all of my hours that I missed, I was graduating way past and way after my whole class did, no matter what. So my whole class pretty much graduated in early February and or January. So I was not the last person to graduate, but it set me back quite a few months. It was about 3 or 4 months.
Was it heartbreaking for you that your class went ahead of you? You weren't
No.
able to leave with. You weren't able to clock out with them.
No, it honestly wasn't that big of a deal for me because I had so many friends there still. So, like Sebastian.
Were you like the coolest gal in school?
I mean, I wouldn't say all that, but I guess that just depends on who you're asking.
Well, I'm asking you. Were you the coolest gal in town?
Sure, yeah. Of
course.
Of course.
Always
Duh.
cool, and we're always winning in this family.
Always winning.
Yes.
Never lose.
So you graduate, you punch out. We have that on film documented.
Clock out.
I believe I actually talked about it.
I barely even
on the show.
graduated.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
got a diploma though.
you did.
Barely.
Like, what are next steps at that point?
So after you graduate, you get this email right away from state board. You get your work permit. So that's why I was able to work for the month and a half. I had to wait until my state board because state board was closed down for 2 months. So everybody who graduated in that 2 months was taking their test before I was. That's why I had to wait so long. But you get your work permit. You can work
Legally.
legally, yes. And then the salon kind of just, depending on the salon you work at, they decide if you can do hair, nails, just watch, can't touch a client, can do whatever. So everywhere's different. I was lucky with my salon and my person that I sublease and shadow under trusts me a lot. So I was able to do hair and nails at this time. But I just basically had to wait and study for my state boards until, well, I was able to take it. So then, April 1st comes around, which is the day I took it. And we were in Columbus.
Yep.
And then I took my test, which was way easier than I had expected. Thank you, Brown Oveda, for that. And yeah, you took your test and I passed. And now I'm licensed and official and I can do whatever I want.
So what's 30, 60, 90 looking like for do we have a business name?
What? 30, 60, 90?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
First 30 days of graduation, first 60 days of graduation, first 90 days. This is business talk. 30, 60, 90. You're a businesswoman, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know what that meant. I've never heard that.
Do you live in this house?
No.
Outrageous.
Okay. Well, 30 days after I graduated, I was still not licensed. So it was just me.
After you get licensed, 30, 60, 90,
well,
post-license. Yeah.
Well, 30 days after I'm licensed. It's a lot of me just constantly promoting myself for these 30 days, constantly trying to build my clientele, trying to be at the salon, watching. If I'm not watching, then I'm hoping I can be there and working and taking clients, or I'm working my second job at a restaurant. Hopefully within these 60 days, I will be a lot more busy, hopefully having my own suite by this time. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not having my own suite, but having more clientele, being consistently there at the salon and trying to veer away from that second job. And then 90 days, hopefully I'll have my own suite and be able to be there whenever I want, afford rent, be able to live totally okay without stress, but that's never going to happen.
So what do you find to be the best ways to get do we have a business name? Like, do we call it just Marleigh or what?
Personally, my Instagram handle and everything is Cosmetology by Mar.
Yeah.
So
So how do you find, or what do you find to be the most advantageous ways of marketing Cosmetology by Mar to build up that clientele?
So one is definitely Instagram. Instagram is probably the best way to spread my content and get it shared other places. Facebook is also helpful, but not as good as Instagram in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
However, word of mouth is always going to be the best way. It's a lot. It's where I've gotten most of my clients, honestly, is say one client comes in, they love their experience, they're telling a friend, and then that friend's telling another friend, and so on and so forth. So word of mouth is probably the best, but if that's not happening, then Instagram. So
have a great idea. What about this? You buy a nail polish.
Okay.
And you do a on-camera review of the nail polish.
Okay.
So, and then quickly you become a viral sensation. And now brands are reaching out to, Marleigh, we make whatever nail polish. We would love you to do a review. Here's a case of nail polish and $250,000. Please do an honest review. Like, is that something that you would like to also do, maybe, or no?
Oh, 100%. I would totally be like a cosmetology influencer, if you will.
Oh, sure.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, kids your age love to be influencers.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yes. Could you be biased, or could you be unbiased?
Okay.
You could be biased.
I could be.
Could you be unbiased?
I could be. Why? About what?
About your review. Like, could you be impartial?
Oh, yeah. Like, I'll tell you if something sucks.
Yes.
I'm not afraid to tell a brand that claims they're big, good, whatever the hell, and just be like, no, this is shit. Because you need to know.
Your Aunt Katie Rempe is saying that I should help you launch a YouTube channel for review of products and do tutorials. You're 2 seconds late, Kate.
Tutorials.
There you go, tutorial. Well, no, on the tutorial.
I would say I don't think I can do
You come
tutorials.
to me. You come to Marleigh for doing nails and hair, so we're not giving tutorials. You come and see the pro.
You get the service done by me. But I'll tell you what
check me out for reviews. Right, here's what's good. Here's what's in my kit.
I'll tell you buy or buy.
Yes. Buy or buy. I love it. This is hot. We can t-shirt, hashtag buy or buy. BYE or BUY.
Yeah. Buy or buy.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking that. And then lastly, where are we in the Marleigh and Maddie joining forces, facial machine, esthetician? You show up in the suite and Marleigh does hair and nails, and then Maddie blasts your face off, and away you go. Maybe a little Botox injection. Is that a business that we see in the future that I can help fund and gain potential investors in?
I mean, if my sister Maddie would do that, I would probably I would have no problem with it. Let's do it.
Family
That's a great
biz?
thing. Yeah, and then Bobby can be like next door, ready to like put IVs in people. You know, no, you gotta incorporate her somehow. She's just there on standby to save a life. I don't know.
Might be tough.
Okay, well, whatever. She's there
We'll know
somewhere.
more tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow if it'll be tough or not.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But
yes,
I would do it with Maddie, but I don't think she wants to go to school again. Even though esthetician school is only 6 months.
Forget it. I mean, it's 6 months. She's been in school ever since her whole life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, she's better than me. She like Mr.
I
don't want to say
she likes money.
Yeah, so do I. But I mean, I didn't do 7 million years of school to do it.
Can you be an esthetician?
I technically am a licensed esthetician and cosmetologist.
Right now?
Yeah, I can do that.
You can do so I can buy you the face machine?
Yeah, I can do that stuff.
Well, then what are we even worried about, Maddie? For? This can be your business.
This was your idea.
I thought Maddie had to do it.
No, she doesn't have to do shit.
You're already an esthetician?
Yes.
Oh
my God. I learned this. This is the whole point I went to school.
Great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm licensed as an esthetician, cosmetologist, nails, all of that.
Wow.
That's funny.
All right. Well, so I got 30 grand burning a hole in my pocket. So as soon as you go live in that studio, we'll put a hydrofacial machine in there.
Perfect. Love to hear
I don't think there's any hydrofacials that are really close around here. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure I don't hear anybody talking about it. That's something you got to come back for like once a month?
Yeah. I mean, people come back for services depending on its massages, facials, X, Y, and Z. People usually come back once a month, every 3 weeks. It just depends on the service it is, honestly.
Can you like low-key jack somebody's
High-key.
nails up that you know, but like maybe they don't know, and like the lacquer falls off a little earlier and now they're coming in, so you're like turning through them even quicker and they're none the wiser?
I mean, yeah, I totally could do that. Not even low-key, I high-key could do that.
You do it?
No, you're saying low-key, I'm saying no, high-key, like I could, but I won't.
But I'm
do that.
saying low-key do
Low-key, yeah.
and then turn them, keep turning. High key probably looks like trash.
If that ever happens though, like if I'm doing a nail set and like I know the design looks bad, I think that's maybe only happened on like Bobby or Maddie. But like that's just Bobby and Maddie. So
well, you know they'll tell you.
Well, yeah, and then they'll just look at me like I'm an idiot.
Straight key, that sucks.
Straight key.
Straight key.
That's
it's a new
great.
word. I'm just starting.
Okay. We'll get it along.
We're top of the hour now, so that's enough of you.
Already?
Well, sure. Time flies
Damn.
when you're having fun. So where can we follow you or book appointments where people can give you their money?
So you can find me on Instagram at Cosmetology by Mar. Facebook, it's just Marleigh Rempe. And I think that's all my social medias. But I'm at Beauty Box Sweets. Find me there.
Beauty Box Sweets. Is that at Beauty Box Sweets? On
Yes.
Instagram?
On Instagram and on Facebook, it's Beauty Box Sweets.
And lest anybody think that Marleigh's clients won't drive a distance, she's currently having people drive in as far away as Glen Oak, which is like down by Canton, which is easily an hour away from here, and also in the opposite direction out in Ashtabula and points east of there.
Even my sister who lives in Pennsylvania drives here to get her hair
2 hours.
done. 2 hours.
Pittsburgh, where neighbors yell at neighbors.
Oh, I'm never moving out. Random thought, just letting you know.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Just want to let you know.
Right, so book with Marleigh, bring cash, none of this card bullshit with
I do
gateway
hair and
fees.
nails.
If you do hair and nails and you pay with cash, you'll get a 2% discount with cash.
2%?
Believe it or not, 2% cash.
Oh, I am doing a giveaway right now on my Instagram.
What?
So.
Oh, wait a second. Let's wait.
Am I plugging myself?
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
All right, Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio, the city that breaks the most live fire and cosmetology news across the country, nay, the globe. And we stay here, local Cleveland, where Marleigh Rempe files this report.
I am currently having and running a giveaway on my Instagram. So if you go to at Cosmetology by Mar on Instagram, if you follow, like, comment, and share the post, you'll be entered into the giveaway that ends on April 30th, and winner is picked on May 1st. And you get your choice, if you win, of a free nail set or 50% off any hair service.
Wow.
So,
Hey, everybody, can I trouble you for a
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So go do that now.
16 days from now, a winner of free hair or nails. 50%, what was it again?
Free, either a free nail set
Yes,
or 50% off any hair service.
Right. So I can get a dye job.
Yeah, you can
What
do
about-
a foil,
Here we go.
haircut.
Last question.
Hit me with it.
What about getting into mail to pay?
I'll do it for you.
Nobody else? I think that could be a budding
No,
biz.
no, like I'm saying, I'll
realize-
learn it for you, and then it'll just be like a whole thing, and I'll just get into it.
I bet you could see a lot of money. That is recurring
Yeah,
business too.
that's more
You gotta
so
get re-app.
investing into it is going to be hard.
Who?
Me!
Why? You got to buy glue.
You got to buy glue, and you got to buy good hair. You got to, like, there's,
Yeah,
well,
but
I'm gonna go
customers
into
pay
it.
for that.
Well, yeah.
So
But
you would-
also need to find
You would bring in somebody who's follically challenged, i.e. me.
follically gel
And then we sit down in your suite. We do a 15-minute
consultation.
consult, right? And then we figure out what hair you're going to order. You order it.
Mm-hmm.
And then take maybe like 50% deposit on whatever that first application thing is going to be so you can buy the hair.
Yep.
And then it comes in, next appointment, sit down, do the whole, whatever happens. And then you slap that hair on their head.
Yeah.
Give them a little cut skis. Away you go. And then they got to come back, I think, 4 to 6 weeks later for a reapplication.
Yeah.
Unless you teach them how to do it themselves. And then 2 months or 3 months after that, they got to get a whole new piece.
Yep. Yeah, they
Business. I bet there's some margin in there. We don't want to
100%.
shy away margin. And then, and those would be great social media people. You'd be like, hey, can I video? I'll give you a 6% discount if you let me post this on my Instagram account. You do the story, the reel, whatever.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, here's this ugly bald guy. And then bang, he's got hair. He's a hot ski. We love him.
I'm sure I'll see a toupee person at the hair show this weekend. This is like the biggest hair show in Orlando.
Maybe the toupee queen
She
will
might
be there.
be. I can look up and let you know.
Please look up the toupee queen. Tell her I'm a big fan. And then I might be going to Hair by Lindsay in Westerville, Ohio.
What?
Yeah, maybe if I go there, she can teach you how to do it.
I didn't know this.
What? I mean, I don't have an appointment or anything, but she's
just the closest.
She's a toupee queen disciple. She studied under the toupee queen out in Sacramento, or where the hell she's at, maybe San Diego, and now she's in like the suburbs of Columbus. So I'm down there once a month. I could go and
get your hair did.
I could text her and say, hey, my daughter's Cosmo, and she would love to get into the hair biz. Maybe you shadow her for a day or two, and she shows you how to match up the hair and glue it on heads and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about glue on my head. Is that going to pull the skin off my head?
Well, no, you use a specific glue that's okay to use on skin that you can use on hair that won't damage your scalp.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. That scares me.
Plus,
I like to work out, and I don't want to burn my hair off from sweat.
What do you mean, burn it off?
Have my sweat evaporate the glue, and then I get out of the car at work and my hair blows off, or worse yet, it kind of flops like a dead cat, like a peanut or Snickers.
Oh my god! Damn. Not my babies.
I did that.
God. I mean, that won't happen. It could, but I really don't think that would happen.
Are you down? Are we going to do man toupee?
Yeah, sure. We might as well.
Ooh, you don't seem motivated.
No, let's do it, everybody.
Really? All right, man toupee.
Let's do it.
Man pay.
Toupee Queen 2.
Johnny Maggs from Pit Life Barbecue is saying, Greg, trust the professional. So I will trust the professional.
Yeah,
Johnny Maggs, will you come into town and have Marleigh put a toupee on your otherwise sweet face?
That better be a hell yes.
And we better get hell yes. Sebastian weighing back in. Marleigh really does have to start a channel or something. The people genuinely do love her and her work. They would love to see her journey. Sebastian, that's enough.
Maybe.
Enough.
Oh no!
It's a
Don't
wig.
Cut him off.
Love a wig.
What?
From Katie Rempe, your aunt.
Yeah.
It's a wig. Love a wig. So there we go. Still waiting for. I'm just kidding, Sebastian. Feel free to chime in. I actually can't block. I mean, I could block you, but I'm not going to block anybody. I just like talking about block. I'll ban you from the internet. That's one of my things. Johnny Maggs is in. So we're going to set a date. Coming all the way from New Hampshire to get it. I mean, that's some time commitment. He's going to have to come back every 6 weeks.
Hell yeah.
So it's going to be something else. All right. Well, now we have a new budding business of hair.
Yeah.
Not the real growing hair, but the fake glue it on your head hair.
Yeah.
All right. Instagram again.
Cosmetology by Mar.
All right. Cosmetology by Mar. And there she is, the newly minted, successful first test, better than everybody that took a test the same day, probably by a lot. It is Marleigh Rempe.
Bye.
Thanks, Willis. And that will bring us to the close of the first hour. Get you back to shot one here. I don't even know where I'm at right now. All right, so let's play catch up. I got an email to get to. I got a show promo to get to. And we'll call it a night. Johnny Maggs is coming to Cleveland. I'm so excited. We're going to both have hair. By the time Johnny Maggs leaves Cleveland, if you can believe it, take in what I'm about to say. By the time Johnny Maggs leaves Cleveland, Johnny and I will both have hair. Wild. We're going to be on the prowl. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Marleigh Rempe for joining us for an extended segment bleeding into the second hour at Cosmetology by Mar. And don't forget, she has a contest going right now. Go back and listen to all the rules. You could get a free nail set, I believe, or 50% off some kind of hair service. All I took out of that is I finally was able to convince her to figure out how to put on toupees. These aren't shitty looking toupees like in the old days either. These are really good looking ones that grabbed me by the throat. We're like, wow, I could look into that. I know. This Tuesday, I have this hair, and then next Tuesday, I have luscious, flowing lettuce. And be like, what's different with him? He has hair? Did he get that hair transplant stuff? No. Wig. And that lady, toupee queen, she like grabs it and is like, it doesn't move. Got him. I'm pumped. Toupee a coming. Gotta grow these sides out a little bit so she can cut in. Gotta just keep it short. I don't know. All right. We are pointing to the second hour, which will be brief. Stick around. We'll be right back.